Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Away Day Show. Antonio's back this week after the illness last week. He's back.
Yeah, I was nearly dead last week.
He
Come from the ruins.
He was on death's door.
Where were you?
He's
What happened?
back. Yeah, let's find out.
Like, you want a bit of a story? Or
One
Go on.
second, bro. Just answer. Where were you?
Sick. I was honestly sick.
You were sick. Okay. And then you went to Sydney.
Yeah, on Thursday morning.
So they all had to go at me for randomly just disappearing in Manchester for 4 days. This
That's a
guy
bit different to
didn't say a
disappear to
word.
Sydney.
Didn't say a word though, and just disappeared to.
Well, I didn't think it really affected anyone.
We'll get our betting plug in.
It didn't affect the show. It didn't affect any watch-alongs because there was no
You missed a good week. You missed. Yeah.
It's the
if I'm
future.
to be honest, if it was going to affect anything, I would have given the heads up.
It's the future of the channel, just to leave when those international breaks on and come back for the
Get
games.
the betting
again.
plug in. Did you go to Randwick?
I didn't.
Okay, fair enough. Never mind,
I
never mind.
was trying to
you
get
would.
tickets, but like
Too
last
expensive?
Oh, is it like how
Too
hard to
much.
get tickets?
yeah, it was hard.
Okay. Did you have a suit?
I had a suit, but like not
Just in case.
intentionally.
Yeah,
I didn't even
okay,
know
yeah.
Randwick
I was
was
gonna
on
say, did you have to
until I was
buy
on the
one?
Just in
plane.
case of emergency.
I didn't know it was on until I was in the plane and there was like some betting advertisements on the plane. I was like, you know what? I didn't
On the
realize
plane?
Yeah, on the plane.
Wow, this country's nuts.
I was about to say that. It's like everywhere you go, like ads on TV,
Yeah, so I was like,
ads from the footy.
I was like, shit, I better like have a look into it. And then obviously
Yeah,
couldn't
fair
get
enough.
there. I ended up on the Sky Tower instead while Randwick was on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You
it's
didn't
not,
miss
that's
much.
not far behind. Let's get into today. Obviously, really quiet week, European stuff.
Yeah.
There have been some big news, but I think we can discuss it later point. So I'm not really fussed with that at the moment. What we're going to do today is go through our ladders, a few talking points around the Prem at the moment. I'll get us going from the bottom. So we're just going to go from the bottom up to the top, and we'll compare who we had in that
How
position
we've gone.
compared to who's actually there at that current
Yep.
point in time.
Yep. Easy.
Starting at the bottom, Sheffield United. Is that an all-round
We got this.
We all got this.
Wow, is that good or bad for Sheffield?
That says a lot about Sheffield, that nothing's changed since 9,
that's a
10.
bit sad.
How long? Probably 12 weeks ago.
It is a little bit sad because you actually look at Sheffield compared to Luton, and you'd say Sheffield are the better team.
And they're still there.
Sheffield feel like the more
nuts.
competitive team. Like
They've pushed
Look,
Spurs.
yeah, as in,
They pushed
like-
Everton.
But then Luton
They're
have
more
pulled
capable of getting a
rabbit
result.
out of the hat.
Huh?
Luton have pulled a rabbit out of the hat. Like Everton
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
look
yeah.
all right as well.
that was the one blip for
Well,
Everton,
yeah.
it felt like. And they've got the win there.
Relegation's already shaping up, mate.
Yeah. And in 19th, let's go around who we had. So I had in 19th Luton.
We all had Luton.
Luton.
Nah.
You didn't?
No.
I had Wolves.
Oh, so different. It is Bournemouth. No, I think you guys will be happy. that
Oh,
Bournemouth are
I'll be
19th.
happy. Yeah.
I'd Bournemouth 18th.
Yeah, I
You're
got
probably
Relegation's
close.
I'd
all,
Bournemouth 17th.
relegation's all the same thing.
I had
Yeah.
17.
Hey,
So pretty close
Going
to that.
down, like.
I had 15th. That's a
screw
stinker
Bournemouth,
for
mate.
me. Yeah, so
Okay,
Gary
the
O'Neill-
Wolves one from me was a bit dodgy, but I think you guys had them
Well, I had them
low
18th as well.
Wolves, oh.
You guys had them low, so maybe you didn't.
Ooh, I had them.
17.
I had them, so I had
Yeah,
them.
so it wasn't actually a bad shout.
So
I'd
so
say,
far,
from me.
basically, I think Tot's probably the best. You're clearly second, and I'm a long way
Wait, why
off.
is he the best?
Because you have...
I had Bournemouth 18th.
But who do you have? You have
Yeah, the
Wolves out,
Wolves.
though.
No,
Yeah.
I had Wolves at
Oh,
19.
you're
I'm
you're
clear, number
You're
one.
clear. You're second.
Second, yeah.
I'm
long
clear.
gone.
Yeah.
Number one.
Because I've got Sheffield, Luton, Wolves, which are not in at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
But having Bournemouth, that's
You know
a
what, in
winner.
future, what we should do? Is do like a game where like we just add up the distance away
Yeah.
from each
So
one.
At the end of the season, we'll definitely do
we'll
it
do
as
that,
like a
we'll do that.
review video when
'Cause,
we
like,
go
that'd,
talk about
that'd be like the best way to show who's the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is more of a...
Right
after
now, I'd be
after
doing
8
nuts
weeks,
right
it's all
now.
hypotheticals.
Nah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was 18th, right?
Yeah, that was 19th Bournemouth.
Sorry, it's
18th
19th.
is Burnley.
Yep.
I had Wolves, you had?
Bournemouth.
So yeah,
Luton.
and Luton. See, Luton though, same points as Burnley, right? Just goal different stuff. Burnley have played City, they've played
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big teams.
So
So
where'd you have Burnley?
I had Burnley in 14th.
Where'd you have them? See, my last one was good. This one's a shocker.
1980. 14.
Yeah, you're in 14th. Well,
I
we
had them 12th.
Oh,
I know. I was playing the long.
and you know what? I feel like I've influenced that because coming into the pre-season, I was talking
I
about
know.
Bournemouth, like Burnley, like they were like,
You know
So-
what?
so he was
Honestly,
saying he
you-
watches the champions.
Yeah, I was watching them
will
play,
say
like-
he did influence me a little bit. Like
Oh,
I
huh.
had him in the back of my mind at one stage, relegation, but like the whole reason I didn't put them there was a couple reasons. Number one,
I was so big on them. Yeah,
but number two, I'd say was I didn't want to put all three teams down.
Yeah.
You don't want to be boring, like
Like,
Yeah, and historically, there's always one team which like outperforms
Is it
all our
gonna be
expectations.
Luton, though? Because-
No, they win one. No.
Burnley have had one of the toughest start of the season. They've had United, they've had Tottenham, they've
But
had
the
City.
problem, you know, you say that, but the problem is with those teams that have just come up, they'd have no confidence right now. Like
yeah.
it's
It's
going to be
rock
that
bottom, isn't it?
Did they not
what are they
recently
on,
just get a
1
result
point?
though?
They're on 1 point.
I
They were
swear.
4. So they got the win away.
Yeah,
at
they got a
Luton
result,
when they
like-
scored like in a minute of Luton scoring.
Pumped by Chelsea as
Oh,
well.
so
And
that's
they
all right,
drew
then. They might
to-
actually escape.
Who did they draw to? Burnley.
No idea.
It's long ago, but yeah, they
but
got
like-
a draw as well.
Look, I think the difference is between Burnley and Luton and Sheffield. Like of the 3 that came up, and why we were more optimistic of them
Yeah.
was that like they played like a more ambitious style.
Yeah.
And we thought if they can sort of translate that over and like go toe to toe with teams in the possession game, they'll beat some of
Like-
the teams like in the relegation zone.
Hear me out though. They sort of have.
Yeah,
in
no,
a
no,
way.
no.
Like
That's that's the problem though.
For time, I know it's the first game of the season,
It's
but
more
for time
backfired.
against City,
Yeah, yeah.
they actually looked alright. And
Even
against
against
United, they
United-
looked better.
Yeah,
against
United, they were
Tottenham,
a better team.
Against
Yeah, but
Tottenham,
when
they
you guys
scored
the best
first.
team.
Like, the only reason we won that game is because we had more class than them. Like,
We had,
you look at the
we
finish.
had the goal of the month. That's why we won the
Probably
game.
goal of the year, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't think of this goal.
Bruno got the goal of the
It was
month.
Van Persie.
Oh,
yeah, at the top.
Van Persie,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a good goal.
So that's 18th. 17th is Luton. I had
Yeah.
Everton in 17th.
I had Bournemouth, so.
So you were
Wolves.
close as well. Wolves.
So-
So we all had the exact same bottom 4.
I think we did.
What did
No,
you-
I had Everton in there.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Me and Flynn had the exact same
We just
bottom
had-
So I'm a
We just
five.
had a few
Everton-
different, like,
yeah.
switcheroos.
Wolves, we'll come back to that obviously later on, but touching on Wolves, we'll do top 5 players in the Prem later in the episode. How impressive has the last sort of 3 weeks been for them? Because they've turned it all around.
You
Like-
say that, but if you actually look at their start of the season, they just weren't getting the results.
Yeah.
They actually
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
playing really
But I think this is
good.
why we had them down here. I just don't think we expected it to turn around as fast as it has.
quick as hell, yeah, yeah.
Like in the sense that we'll touch on some of the guys later in the video about why we
Yeah.
think that like, who was so key to their success. It's like we weren't sure where the goals are coming from. You know, last year with Jimenez, they couldn't put the ball in the back of net.
Yeah, wasn't there?
At the moment, it's actually needed that they're picking up some points because at the start of the year, yeah, as you said, they're better than you guys in that game, but they couldn't get a result. Like
Yeah.
they were playing games and just not getting points because they couldn't put the ball in the back of their net. Whereas now you really want to capitalize on games you're dominating because you will come up against games where like you just can't get shots off.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So what
they're
are
really
Wolves?
outperforming their sort of like XG at the moment, which is like which is a big thing for those teams towards the bottom.
Yeah, like
So they-
Are they what,
yeah.
11th?
Wolves
12th?
are 14th,
14th.
but we're
Okay,
literally
yeah.
near rock bottom a few
Yeah.
weeks back. So, and it's right. It's a case of Gary O'Neill not playing quite as expansive as he did at Bournemouth because I think the players in possession probably maybe.
But he knows their
as
player
well.
skill sets.
But yeah, I think that's a bit on Gary O'Neill. He knows the skill set of the players and gets the most out of them. Like he's seen that it's going to have to be basically 2 guys have to fix them up. It's Hwang, it's Neto, and those two to get them to supply the
So
goals.
what, Gary O'Neill, whether he works out of Wolves or not, will be a Premier League manager for like, as in he will bounce around from Prem club for for a long time in
Could
his
he
career.
turn into one of those like this is feels
What,
bad,
Allardyce?
where he
No,
just-
I can
he
genuinely
fixes
say that
clubs up?
because like he's done this twice now. He's come in
Yeah.
and been so adaptive so
Yeah.
quickly. And look, maybe that's why Bournemouth got rid of him because it looks like okay, he's not the man to take us forward.
Yeah.
But he can do a job for us now.
Yeah,
and
he
look,
does
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that or like the
Yeah.
treatment of him from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think he was owed the time at Wolves. At Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But look, Wolves saw an opportunity there with a guy who could turn around quickly. Had like 3 days
about to say
pre-season.
3 days.
Should have got a result in the second week against United.
First
And-
week.
and-
First
Ma-
week.
ma-
It was
last
actually
week one.
3
Oh,
days
was it?
after he
Yeah,
joined.
3 days after he
They
joined.
should have beaten United.
True. So yeah, even quicker.
incredible.
Yeah. And look, 100% spot on. Yeah, he's been able to turn around really quickly and adapted to what Wolves have,
Yeah.
the assets they have, which some good counter-attacking players, and yeah, they're on the up at the moment.
And it's as much as counter attack when they're on the ball, they're actually like solid. They're not like it's not like long ball and
You
inshallah.
look at just Mateus Cunha, like what
Yeah.
he's doing to teams.
Yeah.
Like, we saw it in the first couple of games, but he's continued it on. Like he was ripping United's midfield, like making it non-existent at.
he ran
Oh,
past
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I remember the highlights from that game because I
He
didn't
was
watch it. But wow.
insane. Like I was looking at it, I was like,
We
this
weren't
guy's
stopping.
like brought his like Atletico like form into
Yeah.
Wolves and like
How does he end up at Wolves as well? Such a random move.
because
like,
Atletico have a lot of those players. Like they had a lot of
Yeah.
the players like the Joel Felixes, the
Yeah.
Griezmanns. That where does the guy play?
Also the
Yeah.
language thing as well. He's obviously Brazilian and they speak
or the Portuguese is flying around at Wolves.
Yeah, definitely. But you look when you like, was he ever going to get a game ahead of like the Joel Felixes, the Griezmanns?
Yeah, it
So
just
that's
felt
why.
like he was 2 years too late for Wolves. 'Cause if he was in that Wolves team from 2 years ago, that was like a Europa League.
Oh,
sort
it
of
feels like
quality
Wolves
team.
really missed out with Jimenez injury, unfortunately. Like,
It just didn't happen, eh? Like,
yeah, it just
and then they've got no striker since to replace it. It's like
Well, Huang,
Hwang's now coming
Well,
into
yeah,
it,
Hwang,
but
yeah.
originally was like what you said a few weeks ago, where like he'll pop up for like 4 weeks, and we're in that 4 week block still,
That's what I'm-
Yeah.
that's what I'm
and then
saying,
like and it just
capitalising.
disappears. Yeah. So hopefully they get Hwang to do it.
If he can maintain this form,
yeah,
like
Doesn't have to be every week scoring. Just
but if he can maintain the efficiency, so I was saying this before, as in he's I think number one rated player in the comp at the moment in terms of shot conversion.
Yeah.
It's like that'll take you super far in terms of a lower team. Like you pick up results here and there.
Play.
In games you don't deserve to win. So yeah.
So what's our 16th?
16th is Everton right now.
16th.
I've got Everton.
I had West Ham.
I've got Everton.
Okay, so
you've nailed that one.
I had Brentford. But this isn't that bad.
Brentford are one above.
This is good.
Like,
and
I've got Brentford one above. No, two above.
No, you don't.
Two above.
And I have
two above.
Okay, so
two above.
Well, I'll do 16 and 15 now. I had Brentford and Everton.
Yep.
So I've basically hit that on the head, mate.
So can I do my 3? Like, can I go 16, 15, 14? Because it's...
Well, who's 14? Wolves. Okay.
No, Brentford.
No, 14th on the ladder.
I've got Brentford at 14th and they're 15th. So that's
not too bad.
And then I've got Everton at 16. They're actually 16.
Well, let me just, credit myself here with Brentford because, I said Brentford are going to stink the gaff.
Yeah.
And then they end up having probably the 2 best fixtures. We've spoken about this. Versus Spurs and then Fulham.
Yeah, last week we got into depth about it.
We spoke about this, how the style of play. And since then, thankfully, because United found it too late, a couple of late winners, but still, they haven't been able to create. And look, I'm happy with the way this one's going. And if Tony leaves, it's gonna be looking even better. Maybe I should have bet on them to get relegated because
it is dire, right? Like there's just no.
They just can't create.
There's no output. And
Bremo's playing so deep because they just can't get anything going.
Right back and forth.
He's been playing. It was crazy. He was playing like a striker at the start of the year,
and now he's
playing so deep, trying to pick up the ball, and it's just not working for them. So. Look, I'm happy with that one.
We're all pretty spot on around this area. To be fair.
You guys are well off.
Well, yeah. West Ham.
Ooh,
I've got 17th Everton, so 16th.
I can't wait.
I've got West Ham 16th, Bournemouth 15th.
Wait for West Ham.
So I'm a bit off.
Wait, the West Ham's a bad one in there. The rest of them you can kind of jump up.
It's because a few teams above that I've bottled a bit.
Where are Palace? 12th, 11th?
9th. Palace are 9th. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Palace playing footy, mate.
Palace are 9th.
Hodgson Ball, mate.
So I've got Palace at 15.
Ooh. Mate, you didn't back in the 12th place Palace, mate. You should have to.
But to be fair,
I've got that one good. I'm not going to say what number yet, but
I think you put them like 11th or something.
Wait, anyway,
we'll say where we are.
I want to know what West Ham. West Ham. What's happened here?
But see, I don't want to escape that. We all thought they were going to be rubbish at that point in time. At that point in time,
got them like
we
too
all thought
high.
they were going to be rubbish. No. This guy with they'll sign somebody.
This is Fabrizio before Fabrizio, mate. What's going on?
But hear me out. At the point in time, they signed no one.
I agree. I haven't.
Thomas Souček was like poo.
Not the guy.
Poo ball.
Paqueta was leaving.
Yeah, it was like who's going to be the strikers? Antonio even good anymore?
Yeah.
Antonio's suddenly good again. And you lose your best player.
Sofal's playing good. Yeah. Bowen's still doing nuts.
This is like David Moyes under with the Jesse Lingard COVID stuff, where they always was just like prime ballers. It's what it feels like again. And when you come off a European win as well, which is short in pre-season, it's a bit on the beach stuff, and you think, they'll just.
I 100% agree.
Grab through.
You're right, and I'll say from my point of view because you guys are here thinking that obviously, I've got extremely lucky with that prediction. No pundit of any.
It was just the most out of pocket. They're going to.
The players that were there are still performing, so in that way, I can't totally take it away from you.
No, but you have to understand it from my point of view, and I know it's such an outrageous call to say, but the fact that they had signed no one, and I wasn't expecting them to go sign Alvarez.
You're such a United fan.
Who else did they sign?
No, you're just so used to these reactionary signings.
I wasn't expecting all this, but I was at that point in time. When I was talking, they were linked to Maguire and McTominay.
Okay,
there was link.
War signing.
There was a link.
I don't like.
Okay, let's be realistic here. Maguire would have fit their system.
They would have done very well in their system. Yeah.
Okay, and McTominay as well. I think would have done.
Who just won you? Yeah, just won you guys a game.
Best player in the world.
I think they both
Scotland to the Euro.
At that point in time, there was a bid for 60 million. So there was a bid, and whether they signed McTominay or Maguire, whoever they signed, which they didn't, I knew they were getting a little bit ambitious towards the end of the season. So they had money to play with.
I get that, but do you reckon McTominay and Maguire shift the goalpost so much that they're not 16th, 15th, 17th? You know what I mean? I reckon they still stay around there.
Maybe my call was a bit outrageous. I put them 10.
Yeah, that's the outrageous thing for me.
Well, you say that, but they're 7th. They are 7th.
If I put Maguire, if they got Maguire and McTominay, I would have happily not put them any lower than 12th. Just
Oh.
Really?
Oh.
Like a Palace
With those
level
two.
What, Maguire
Yeah.
shouldn't get a game for England, shouldn't be in United squad.
Yeah, you say that,
And
but
then
look at the way
Maguire
West
would
Ham
be
play.
great, but it doesn't, for me, change the way they play. The amount of goals Ward-Prowse has created, the amount of goals Alvarez has created, goals from Kudus.
It was once again, like, it was similar to, our Brentford, my Brentford. It was where were they going to score their goals?
Yeah.
But you just don't get it. Like, I had 10 years where the Cronkies didn't put $1 in the club. I was used to nothing happening in the transfer window.
Yeah, but they were
Whereas
leagues.
you're so
put
used to
bids.
like reaction Casemiro, like,
They put
reaction,
bids.
I want Schweinsteiger. Like,
Yeah, but the difference what we're saying is
I'm joking.
they weren't like
joking.
they weren't at the back of the Sahara Desert where the grains of the sand.
Oh, simplify this. Take me step by step through this
Let him
analogy.
cook, let him cook.
Peter Drury, let him cook right now.
Let him cook.
Look, there wasn't no talk at all. I understand they done nothing.
I get
get
but
that.
there was and it wasn't like, oh, we're linked to Maguire like a lot of clubs were at that point in time. It was they were actual formal bids.
Yeah.
put
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Whether even
But then they go and sign Kudus and anyway, we've been rambling about
Yeah.
it.
But
No, you're right.
They're better players than Maguire and Matoma.
correct, but
they
there was
100%,
there was
not
and
that.
it wasn't like you say, oh, with the Cronkies there that they do nothing and there's just nothing happening. There were-
Well, back in the day.
yeah, there is proof that there was something going to happen.
Yeah, I know. But it was
to
a
like
big
round
call
to
put
re-
them
yeah, but
10th.
say to round it all out and to touch on multi points. I know, especially last year, I don't know if it's still a problem, but there is an ownership problem at West Ham as well. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So
We always hear this from the fans.
I would say I wouldn't be surprised if there was no investment. If what I think of last year
Correct.
stands correct, but fair play. You nailed it.
I
on the
just
head.
say it from the point of view. You have to
So
understand,
overall-
there was bids.
Yeah, we get this.
yeah.
Overall, you had them 16th.
Item 16.
That's a shocker.
That's
a
a
10.
stinker.
And we're
I'm
10th.
14th,
that's not as bad. At least it's
and they
reasonable.
are 7th.
Yeah.
But that realistically, they're 7th right now, but they will not finish 7th.
No, I know, but
10th
bro,
could be on the money.
It's a
10th
current,
on the
legit
money.
could be on the
it's
money.
it's a in-season prediction
Yeah.
review, and
No, I'm
currently
just saying that, but like you got to
No,
be
you're right,
realistic
you're right.
here.
No, you're
They'll
in a good
finish.
spot.
They could even finish as low as 12. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Okay, well,
Let's go.
regardless.
We've got a 14th, which is Wolves. We touched on
Yep.
Wolves already.
No, okay,
Who do we all
said
have in
15th.
14th?
Did we say 15th?
I think you didn't. You
I said
15th?
Everton, but did you say yours?
My 15th was Bournemouth.
Okay, and you said Palace.
Oh no, I had Palace 15. I got Brentford
okay.
16.
Yeah.
No,
15th.
Oh, yeah,
doesn't matter.
15.
West Ham.
I got Brentford
my
14th,
14th
Forest.
is West Ham.
Yep.
Yours is
My 14th is Burnley,
Brentford.
Brentford. So again, I feel
I'm
like
pretty close
I was
to
just
that.
really hard. It's like we don't get numbers to rank them all, but we all are sort of like our bottom. Other than you guys, sorry, your bottom like 6 are all sort of the teams that are there. Realistically,
my bottom 6. I had no shockers. Like as in,
yeah.
they're all on the money.
yeah.
14th is my first battle.
Yeah, that's where West Ham comes into it.
Mine is apart from Palace, the 6 of the 7.
You got one stinker, Palace.
yeah,
Palace.
6 of the 7
At the moment.
are all currently in the bottom like.
Whereas I've
All of
got
them.
2 stinkers.
You got
realistically.
power. You got.
So I've got
sorry.
Burnley too high, and I've got West Ham too low.
Burnley is okay though. Like in
You
your
reckon-
60, yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Like that's okay. Yeah,
But
Burnley's.
I'm if we're ranking it 1, 2, and 5th. Let's rank like that because I'm long.
and then we get to what's now
13th.
13th.
So Nottingham Forest are currently 13th. Who do you guys have in 13th?
Burnley.
That's another stinker. I think we can rank it.
Forest.
Nailed it again.
I'm insane.
Are they actually?
I'm
13th?
insane. I got
13th.
Forest in 13th.
I've got Forest in 9th.
So hear me out. Yes, I got Forest in 10th as well.
I am
really
insane at this.
overranked them. But again, another thing with
I
Forest.
don't know if you have though.
Forest will bounce
Forest will do-
throughout
Oh,
the
it's,
season.
bro, you keep saying I don't know. I'm basing it off right now. Like,
Yeah.
If the season ended now, you'd be on.
my only
You'd be
stinker
on
at the
fire.
moment. We're gonna come to another one. Is who I've got.
But-
No,
I
I've got
thought-
2 stinkers: Burnley and West Ham.
Yeah.
Who's 12?
We'll touch on 12th in a minute. Let's just touch on Forest first.
okay.
A lot again, and more chunk of signings again. Like despite it hasn't been talked about enough. They've got Alanga coming in, Hudson Odoi's come in, Brendan Johnson leaves. They've got who
They signed 6 guys on deadline day.
Yeah, Montiel comes in at fullback. Like there's so many players again. So it's sort of a case is not as bad as last year because the same sort of faces around. But once again, it's a bit of a like
Matt
learning
Turner
curve
came in,
thing.
obviously.
Matt Turner
And
Strakosha.
Strakosha.
Strakosha's at Brentford.
No, come on, please. Don't
Yeah,
say that.
Yeah,
Strakosha's at
he's at
Brentford.
Are you sure?
He's at
Yeah,
Brentford.
he played last week.
Even out poor knowledge.
No. It's the great guy. Vlachodimos. Is that?
He might be there.
He's
he
at-
might be
he's
there.
at Forest.
No,
He
because
might be there.
Strakosha played.
Yeah. Sorry, because Fleck
Against
dropped.
United.
No. Vlachodimos is at Forest. Anyway,
I'm
sorry.
Like it. I'm
it's
just
Vlachodimos.
Yeah, I'm just.
It is.
You say that again from Forest though, but
Yeah,
Forest.
Forest. Yeah.
You look at Forest, they were what against United.
They were leading 2-0 in the first 4 minutes,
like,
whatever.
I reckon Forest
Forest
are
got
the
a bit
type of
about
team that, as we've seen positive signs, and again, they're at that stage in the season where they're still waiting for a few things to click because they made so many signings on deadline day. Like, if that clicks, they could definitely push the 10th, 11th, 12th.
You say that.
That front three is like, it's like if Awoniyi continues what he's doing,
the 13th
Alanga's been
is
very
pretty high.
good. Hudson-Odoi's like a top, 6 sort of talent.
13th is fine. 13th
that's what
is
I'm
where
saying.
Forest. I don't know why you're getting so optimistic about. Like as in the league is competitive, bro. Like,
I just look at teams like Palace. I think they'll finish ahead of Palace.
well, you say that, but then it's like
I think so as well, but
we had higher expectations
ahead
from
of
Palace.
Fulham.
I think they're all in that same bracket. I think of those, Fulham's probably the most likely to drop down because I don't know if
I just
Fulham
think
aren't with that.
Forest have a lot.
I think
compared to
Forest's
the other two.
ceiling is much higher
Yes,
than that
yes.
middle group, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
the Palace's where he said it, because I think all I said was dropping because the likes of Eze and Elise get sold, right? Whereas Forest is, it's weird. It's got that big club sort of thing about it where players are fine to join it. Like Montiel, World Cup winners, gone to join Forest. I get he was
Yeah,
on
but they
the way out
clearly
in
have
Sevilla.
money. Like Forest are clearly spending.
And the owner doesn't muck around. That
Yeah.
guy, that bloke, he gets his stuff and gets it done, right?
You know what I don't get about Forest is like Steve Cooper's obviously a really good manager.
I
but
rate him so highly.
But there is this crazy like rating of Steve Cooper. I just don't really
think
get it.
I think
I know
with
he's
that
good.
UK bias again.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
as in, there's just something about Steve Cooper which a lot of other managers don't have. He gets so much credit, like as in for a team that scraped relegation last year.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I'm
just
sure Steve Cooper's really good.
And again, you're gonna. I'm gonna say I can tick it again. It's the same as the Burnley thing with the back half of the championship where he took over and they got up. That football was like night and day for where they were playing because they were struggling. They were pretty sure bottom half, like bottom 7 in the championship, and he turned that team around to be with likes of Brennan Johnson, the likes to make them a Premier League team again.
Yeah.
And obviously because Forest have been in that sort of championship purgatory for like like 10 or 10 years.
Yeah, long year.
It's hard to take that step up, and I think they've almost taken too many steps too quickly, if you know what I mean. That the adjustment hasn't quite. So we have 2 years now of players coming in and no one knows who the hell they are. Like what you talk about, what they speak Portuguese at Wolves. What the hell do they speak at Forest? So you got all these they got English
speak
blokes or South
translator.
American. Like what the hell do they
You're
speak?
right. There's either a bunch of Brexit English guys.
Like the Ryan Yateses of the world. He's like the whitest white guy. Matt Turner's American, and you've got
They probably have
Mangala and
someone like
Montiel. Like, what the hell do they
United.
speak?
They probably have someone like United did back in the day, quoting the Beckham.
Yeah.
Have you heard Steve Cooper speak English?
The Beckham.
He's Welsh.
The,
so he's got that
Yeah.
Welsh. They don't understand him either.
like commenting on the Beckham documentary, but they United had Gutierrez there.
Yeah.
That was.
Didn't
I think he spoke
speak
7 languages,
Yeah.
and he was the assistant coach under Ferguson.
Yeah.
Because
crazy.
of all the
Obviously,
different.
obviously exaggerating things, but like
I love how you analyse that so deeply. For a throwaway comment about what language they speak, and you're dropping in the facts.
that's why you're missing last week. But yeah, that's sort of why people rate him, right? Because of what he's done a few years back.
Okay, so that was
12th?
13th. I got that. So just
So
to clarify,
13th,
I nailed that on the head.
Yes, I had Palace 13th,
Yep.
which is a little bit off. But I think that's Palace, right? Palace
I had
13th.
Burnley,
then.
so yeah.
Yeah, okay. Going to 12th.
Okay, it's my second major stinker. I had Burnley.
Ooh.
I nailed it on the head.
Who'd you have?
I had Fulham and there's
Fulham.
Fulham. Yeah, do you
Yeah,
have
Fulham as well.
I've had a drastic cut. Now
that.
Fulham though, this
Cook that.
I think could go tits up a bit. I reckon they'll sink a bit further. I think
We'll just see. It's very early on.
Yeah, no, I'm scared because I agree with you. And I've got them higher. So
because don't get me wrong, over the last 2 weeks
Yeah.
it's picked it back up, but it takes one injury to one of those starters and it's all gonna fall apart.
and they're scoring late goals from
It's-
what's his name? Like one of the wingers. I forget his name. They're just scoring these
They don't
late
have a
weird
prominent goal
tap-ins.
and it's
scorer.
a
That's gonna be the
reliance on
biggest problem.
Polina to do everything. Polina has to do the whole thing, like pick the ball up, just intercept
It
the
sounds
ball,
like he might be
drive.
going
Might be
to jam.
leaving.
Yeah.
And the problem is, we've gone over this with Wolves. We talk about teams that are playing good football and doing well around the park, but they just can't. They don't have that final product.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of Fulham at the moment. After losing Mitrovic,
It's a good point. But I don't think Fulham are playing as good a football or
No,
at the level
no,
than
no.
Wolves. Then
but they still
Burnley
lack a.
probably
They
are.
still lack
And they're
a
not
target
playing-
man.
yeah.
Someone.
Yeah. Oh,
someone
100%,
to
100%, yeah.
Someone to back. You look at all the smaller mid-table teams.
Mid-table clubs, yeah, the Palaces.
They
the
usually
Fulhams, all
have
this stuff.
someone that like they back. Like you look at Palace now, they probably got Edouard, but even they got like Elise.
Well, not even just small. All of them do. Like Morris for Luton, like you know, Everton's DCL. Like there's all a kind of a coach name you think
Fulham got no one.
But you look at it well. It's Wolves and Fulham, and what's the common link? It's Jimenez, and I don't want to like keep pounding Jimenez.
That's harsh.
I don't want to keep pounding him. That's harsh. This guy can't score. When's the last time he scored a goal?
I feel bad for him though because the bloke was quality before his accident.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Jimenez has scored a goal.
I don't think
he scored one. I think.
I don't think he scored a football goal.
He scored his first goal because he only scored one last year. He scored his first goal.
I'm fact checking this because I can't have my ball knowledge. Undone here.
TikTok clips.
Yeah. Regardless, so we've already clarified my Burnley stinker. That just my take.
I'm gonna stinker
just my take on that. I just look. I don't actually think as you've been saying, like, you know, give it a bit of time. That's my one with this prediction. I don't think they'll get to 12.
No,
but I never thought they'd click straight away. Yeah, I never thought it'd click straight away for Burnley, and they'd go well the whole time. So I'm gonna, you know, lay off. No, you're kidding.
I'll double check, but
in all comps.
Dude, you know with the Burnley one though. Do you not feel that, as we've said many times though, that the whole prediction on Burnley?
It was a lot of it was like the belief that someone's going to do well.
Yeah. Someone was going to do well.
Oh, bro.
If you actually look at Burnley, and we're talking about this actually when we did the predictions, who are their players? We actually had no clue who they are.
We're casuals, but like still like low key. I was in agreement. It's like, you know, when Fulham came up and were playing sort of the similar brand, it was like, you know, they got Mitrovic.
But everyone knows like they had Mitrovic and even like players that
like Willian, bro.
Yeah, Willian, and even players like Tom Kearney who are pretty like stock standard.
Championship stalwart, absolutely.
Championship
like, legend. Like.
That we knew some of their players and like they had just come down 2 years before, so it was a bit different. Like I know Burnley just came down, but Burnley have like completely like
transformed their identity. Went from Dyche to company.
But Burnley's championship.
If I'm going to be honest, I know this is.
100
I know this is very much like saying this now, and it's a bit of a throwaway comment, but there was a bit in me that wanted to put all three as relegation, but I
couldn't do it to myself. I just said boring.
But we do this every year. Like you know, every time Norwich come up, they're down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's some truth to it. Like, I'm extremely confident that at least two of these teams are going to go down now.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you know what I mean?
I think Burnley will fix up, but
what do you reckon your percentage of all three going down is?
Oh, probably 50%.
I'm thinking, 50, 40%.
Because you look at the teams around them, teams like Bournemouth still have some all right players, and I reckon they can escape it. And Everton, they're the only two that probably
there's a lot of these teams, though, that are in this situation right now that it takes a few weeks for it to all change, but it can equally be if another 4 more weeks happen of the way it's going, it just ends their season. If Bournemouth go the same way 4 more weeks of not winning, it's over.
You're right. You just look at the teams like Everton and you go, okay, Everton... like DCL is fit, like something can happen there. You look at teams like Luton, Sheffield and Burnley and you go like, you don't you don't see anything that you go, if he's fit, like he's proven himself in the Premier League before, like maybe there'll be a player that will does that, like a rising star of some
Luton
sort.
are going to try, they're picking all these free, like Andros Townsend joined as well, they're just picking up all these Prem guys and they're trying to get something going on.
You look at like Ross Barkley and stuff.
Like stuff that like, obviously their careers are over, but they're trying to.
Get on the pitch, so like.
But you see the lack of experience, before you drag it too much, but like, Teden Mengi, who's a United youth guy.
Yeah.
At the end of the Tottenham game, they had a bit of possession. It was like the last kick of the game sort of stuff. And the bloke shoots some like 40 yards and skies. And I'm thinking there, I made sure I mental note of it. Like, that's where they're at, right? Because there's a lot of young guys there. And they want that rebound payment. I think they've basically accepted fate. They want that rebound to go down, develop these young guys, come back up in 2 years' time.
If you were to do the predictions right now, though, would you do all three?
No, I'd keep Burnley up.
Yeah, a revised prediction would be interesting, but I'd keep Burnley up as well.
See, the reason I would put him down, I just look at...
So you would have all three going down?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, because the only other team I think that maybe could go down is Bournemouth. I don't see Everton going down, looking at how
I'm still worried about Everton.
Things are going. I just think they've got enough Premier League experience that
I
they'll
get
somehow...
that.
Like,
they're just yo-yoing.
You just look, it's Dyche. Like, what does history say there? Then you look at people like, they've still got some decent players, like... around, like they've got Pickford in goal, like players like Tarkowski or veterans and
what if Decore stops scoring goals? Where the hell's the goal?
They also all those guys just named basically just got relegated with Bournemouth, Burnley as well. So
that's the thing. Why are they winning? Because Decore scored like in every game, last 3 games.
Yeah.
We know how injury prone DCL is. We know how injury prone.
I know, but I just look at players like the McNeils, like the DCL. But if DCL, there's a lot more upside I see from Everton.
100%. But I also think with Burnley, it's an unknown factor.
Yeah.
And that's why we all had them so high.
And Company's got that ego and that mentality. He's going to stick to it. And if it
Yeah,
works, it
you're
works.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Do you not feel that the main thing with Everton was as well, but it's just like, oh, they're playing good modern day football? That it was just like...
No, yes and
Yeah.
no. But yes, because it worked in the and I always say the championship's the hardest day to come out of, right? And if you can get 109 points, whatever it was, playing this style of football, it can surely correlate
I
to not the same
disagree, though,
degree.
because you look at all the bottom teams in the Premier League, the ones that are like bottom 7, and obviously possession-based football works in the Premier League, and you've seen by like the Cities and the Brightons and the Arsenal. But we're talking about, even with Brighton, some of the players they have, like... is totally different to a Burnley.
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
you're
Okay.
trying
Yeah,
to-
obviously, but there's so much to do with that.
not
It's all
going to
reputation.
work.
Like,
I just don't know.
well,
if it's
Fulham
going
came
to
up and did
work.
it last year. Fulham came up and did it.
Fulham again had a lot better players.
They had a
Yeah,
master
no.
stroke.
Well, they had
with
players with
Pereira
names
and-
anyway. We're
Basically-
waffling about these bottom
Yeah.
teams.
Basically, Burnley are like praying that they had players that did what they did in the Championship and were going to replicate it into the Premier League, which is so hard to say.
To finish it off, to close before we go to top half,
Yeah.
the team's basically night and day different to what it was in the champ. That's all I say. It's totally the 11s. I don't think there's maybe 2 or 3 that have stayed in, but the rest of the team's totally brand.
That was my stinker. And you had who?
as 11.
Yeah, you
11th?
No,
12th.
12th you got correct.
Yeah.
We both know.
Who was 12th?
Fulham.
Who was 12th? Fulham, yeah, okay.
Fulham,
So you guys got that correct.
Let's
My
do
11th is a bit
Let's do
dodgy.
11th and 10th because these 2 teams suck currently. So obviously it's United and Chelsea. I had Forest in 10th. Oh, we talked a lot about Forest, but Brentford in 11th. We talked a lot about Brentford.
Forest 10th, Brentford 11th.
Yeah, I don't think Brentford will ever get
Brentford.
to 11th because of how little time they've got left to get there,
So I'll say my 2.
You go.
I had Brighton 11th.
which is not ridiculous because I have them not felt much higher. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd Brighton 11th. And,
I know from what I remember, we're all pretty similar.
and then West Ham 10th.
So I had...
the master.
So West
The
Ham's,
master.
West Ham's good. I mean, it's funny. 'cause
I am
they're
Jose
actually...
Mourinho.
They're still outperforming you. And then I had 10th and 11th, I had Palace and Fulham.
So you had Fulham 11. So Fulham not far off either.
Nah.
So
No,
one
I
place
had
up.
Palace 11th.
Palace 11th.
Okay.
So
Which
Palace,
again,
I got
That's a
two
good
wrong,
shit. That was
Fulham,
good by
I got
you.
two wrong.
Yeah.
That's we say this every time. Like, you can sort of break it up into 3 different
Mate,
segments.
if you want to put Palace,
Yeah.
you can almost go City, Luton, and just put Palace in the middle and work in between. You know what I mean? Like, you work around
my
those.
concerning ones are like, I'm really concerned about Fulham.
Yeah.
10th, I have them 10th, and they're currently 12th, and I see they're only going worse.
The
and
faith
then,
in them, middle.
And then, so should we quickly speak about United and Chelsea then?
Let's talk about them when we go touch
We'll
on
go
them.
up.
Okay,
Can
let's
I
go.
can I just take a quick one on
Yeah.
my Brighton prediction? Like, obviously that's going to be wrong.
We can touch them out because I had them 9th.
At
as well.
11.
So you had Brighton.
Brighton at 11th.
Where'd you have Brian?
Okay. And
Ninth.
Yes, I had them 9th. as well,
I
so
just
they're around
the
there.
reason I put him at 11.
What are
was-
Brighton?
No, 'cause-
5th.
Okay. I think you had okay.
No,
No. What are they?
Oh, they are. Sorry. They are 6th, but I thought you said you had them.
Can I just say, I'll just make a quick comment. I'm not going to drag it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just looked at it and go, no McAllister,
Yeah.
no Caicedo. The replacements maybe they brought in were like,
And
yeah,
Europa League football. Like,
yeah, and Europa League football. So I looked at that, and to be honest, like they're not going to finish 11th, but I still see them finishing 8th, 9th.
No, you made a more logical decision where
Yeah.
we did the West Ham sort of approach
Yeah,
you had,
yeah.
and we were like,
But you guys don't have him by the ninth.
what did Brighton do every year? Like, you know,
we
they,
had
they
ninth.
just find
You've got
these.
a 9th as well.
No, but what I'm saying is that like the reason we sort of haven't,
Yeah.
because these spots are like, like 2 spots from 11th to 9th in the Prem's like a reasonably big.
Yeah, I'd
Like,
say
you know
so.
what I mean?
That's your 5 points.
Yeah,
of
like-
difference,
I just
right?
think
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's kind of
it's a
like,
game, so-
we kind of had a little bit more faith that they would be able to find those like a Dringers and those like
if you were to
those
put
players I
him
never
right now,
heard
where
of.
would you
Yeah.
put him?
Brighton.
I still reckon I have them 8.
I'd probably have them 8
hear
as
me
well.
out. I
I'd
don't,
have
I,
them
don't, I don't
ninth
think this
still.
9th prediction is not too
You
bad.
have them 9th still.
Yeah, I just look at the teams around them,
Yeah,
and I
'cause this
still
is-
think that
this is what I
Chelsea and
think.
United will make it finish at least
okay.
7th and 8th.
We see their struggles they've had so far, conceding like a lot of goals. I know they've scored a lot,
Yeah.
but they've conceded a lot. And every time they've had a Europa League match, look at the weekend, it hasn't gone well. And like we've seen
Is that like a direct correlation?
the Aston Villa was following a Europa
Yep.
League, and then the one before that, I think they drew.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So that going into the season, I went the other way around. I went where they were last year, high and low, and worked down, and I kept pushing them down because of Europa League and because of it's the whole new experience. We see it time. I use the West Ham example of they had their good year, then they went Europa League, deep in Europa League, and they fell off to like nearly last year as well, nearly relegation. So that's where I sort of came from. And the only reason I kept him in the top half because of De Zerbi. And right now, I think we're seeing that that sort of was happening. Probably not to the same extent that maybe you and me thought it would be, but we're still seeing the signs that they're vulnerable, that teams can get the better of them if they play the counter-attacking style of football. West Ham did them in playing counter-attack.
And you know they're not going to shy away from their game style.
They're not going to stop the way they play.
Yeah.
Right?
So if they go 2-0 down from playing like out the back, they'll keep going.
Look at Villa.
And then they'll lose 4. Yeah,
Last
4.
comment before we move on. The only reason, I think you guys are going to go so spot on that prediction, and they actually will finish ninth. You just look at, there's the big 7, which I still think with Chelsea and United being so poor, I can't see them finishing below 8th. And then I look at Aston Villa; they're doing really well. Yeah. So therefore, that's
how much longer?
That's the top 8.
How much longer of this poor form from United and Chelsea do you want to see to think that Brighton will finish them off? I'm the same as you, but I'm just curious because
January.
So you want
if they're at 11th and 12th,
you want half the season.
Yeah, if they're at 11th,
I think half the season.
If they're at 11th and 12th, if they drop further to like the 15th, I'll agree. But if they're where they are right now, at January,
if this was Jan,
I'd be concerned. But if this was like December and they were 11th and 12th, I'd still say they're going to finish
back
7
back to squads. Yeah, you back to squad side.
So I still back them now to finish Europa. Like I still back United for Europa.
So I thought you meant you still back him in to make it if they're 10th and 11th by January. I thought that's what you meant.
No, I backed them to finish 8th by January.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, if they're like 11th, 12th, I would still back them to finish 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
Above Brighton. Yeah.
Recap, sorry, you had...
So I had Brighton in 9th, you had Brighton in 9th.
Yeah.
Tots, you had...
in 9th, Nottingham Forest.
So a little bit higher than what we
Forest were 13th.
And then 8th.
Well, we're saying Palace is 9th now, so all sort of...
So I had Palace, I had Palace 11th.
This is where it gets interesting now.
I was okay.
8th, so 8th currently is Newcastle.
All of us had the same one for 8th as well.
I'm pretty sure I think I'm the best out of the top 5 because I put a certain team
lower. I've got an absolute stinker in this top 5.
So I got 8th for Tottenham, right?
Spurs.
But like, let's talk about Spurs. Am I right? Let's talk about Spurs.
Because this is a massive one. They're currently first.
Hear me out. Everyone, I don't think any prediction would have had Spurs any higher
than
5th, 6th, being like generous.
I think it's recency bias. I think like 7th, 8th was like absolutely nailed.
Because we said
it
would be a good season if they finished 7th. Is that
above?
Do you know? I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I think I said during the prediction I was like, if Kane goes, I think that's better for the club.
No, you did say that. I remember.
I don't know if it was just me though.
I might have said it as well, maybe, but I don't want to say I said something.
I wouldn't have said it because I'm a big.
I think I was big on like they have to accept 100 mil and like refinance.
I think we all agreed on the 100 mil thing because 100 mil for a guy that's going to go anywhere in 2 years or a year, you have to take it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But who would have thought like it's still a little bit of a like it's the midfield and the wingers scoring the goals, right? Son scored his hat trick, right? But he's not the blueprint going forward. That's what
I don't know about that.
Son scored his hat trick
and then
he scored 2 against us.
Yeah.
And then he scored one against
you're telling me that
well.
Ange's team next year for a European competition.
He'd have 7 goals or 6.
No. Yeah, Son's a goal scorer. I'm not saying he's not.
But since he went to striker,
but do you reckon that's the blueprint going forward to keep Son as an
100%.
I think
so to not buy a proper striker.
I think apart from City,
100%.
I think apart from City, no team has a better striker.
100%, Son will play striker for the rest of the year.
Apart from City, who has a better striker?
On the left.
Huh? Apart from City, who's got a better striker? City probably have 2 to be honest, but
probably no one. Probably
no one.
Yeah.
In terms of the clinicalism of Son, and in terms of like, his ability on both feet, the attention he draws.
This is not me going at Son. It's just
you hate him in Son.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's just like, you know how every team does it. Like, City have done it, right? That progression just to get a number 9. Do you not reckon that Ange wants to go and get
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think Ange has a lot more.
I think Ange is really happy to like. I think, to be honest,
that's sacrificing his style of play, right? Playing Son as a number 9.
He played better.
I disagree. I think more so.
No. That's going into what Ange does with the high and wide wingers that are like literally on the.
I think he'll get a new left winger. I think more so.
I agree with you.
I think he was more so forcing in Richarlison.
Yeah, I get that.
Because he's supposed to be the striker.
Well, Richarlison's better on the left than he isn't.
But as when Richarlison sort of went really out of form, like constant dip throughout the start of the year, he obviously put Son up top.
Yeah, which works.
And then now Richarlison's come back in on the left, and look, I think if they're going to look for anyone up top, they're going to look for a new left winger.
I think there's positions like we talk about Spurs starting 11. It's actually like I don't know if it's just a massive like form sprout at the moment or what it is, but their starting 11's good. Our biggest concern, and everyone in the whole media and everything's biggest concern is like
Those two guys.
is they lose Madison's son, or I would even say going beyond that.
I think
if
it's
they
Madison
lose
or
one
Basuma.
even if they lose Basuma or
I was about to say, who do they have next week?
yeah,
Fulham.
They've got an easy game that we talked about last
Yeah, we
week.
spoke about this
But-
because we said, Basuma's
Basuma's
out.
out. What's gonna happen? Yeah,
how's this
yeah.
going to affect? Because it's
Yeah.
true though. Like as in,
yeah.
every single time they lose a player, because out of their starting 11, because
Yeah,
their 11
Fulham
on
at home.
paper is pretty okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's going to be a hurdle though to replace that because they don't have the depth. And
That's going to be
I-
Andrew's
yeah.
problem
I
next
think
year. Not
those-
problem, like solution.
Yeah, those two for me are the biggest losses of you, Madison and Basuma, because how I would see the games, goal creation right now is not coming from the Ange style where it's high and wide wingers. It's coming from
Fullbacks are
midfield.
pretty
Yeah,
impactful
midfield,
though.
but tucking in as much as your doggy's basically.
Poro's getting pretty high.
High.
Oh,
He's getting
I'm
shots.
talking-
Yeah,
he's
Moro's
shots.
getting pretty high.
Yeah, they're both getting high, but the
not
wingers
wide.
aren't doing that
Yeah,
proper.
yeah.
Like you watch the Celtics things where like the wingers are literally touching the bar line sort of
Yeah.
out there. It's more in the fullbacks and the midfielders creating chances. Which don't get me wrong, it's working, but that's not what I expected. And that's not what we saw with Ange coming into this. So has he sacrificed maybe because of the team he's dealt with? So if you lose Basuma, if you lose Madison.
No, you're right.
This is a hypothetical. This is a really, really hypothetical
yeah.
world.
Well, we've said
what
this.
happens
It's
there?
a
Yeah.
hypothetical, but
Yeah.
like, but over a 38 game
gotta
season,
expect it
it's
a few
more
times,
likely
right?
for something to happen like that than not.
Yeah, because Son and Madison have been playing through injuries. If you, from my
Still
understanding,
playing excellent,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So miss half.
You're
Basuma
completely
missed the whole
right.
year.
Yeah.
Like,
You're 100% right. If they start losing star players, they're in like serious trouble because
It's a Man United
like,
last season, right?
Yeah, because you just look at it and you go, who's on the bench? Like, do you really want? As I was big on, you guys not so much, but like I look at Højbjerg and I look and I go, he's there. Like he's gonna probably start now.
Yeah.
When Basuma's out, because he was the replacement that came on as soon as Basuma went out, and I look at him and I still think he was like a informed Southampton player when Southampton were good in 2015.
Fair enough. He was a
that's
part
what
of the
he played.
team. He was a part of the team that went to the Champions League final though. Like he was in that squad.
He might have been in the squad. I don't think he played, but
I'm sure he's in that squad.
I don't know.
Højbjerg was
I don't
in
know.
that squad.
I don't think he's been there
But
for that long.
I think he's a good substitute player for a team that like Spurs, right? He's not.
Look, Højbjerg can play a
He's not
role
that
for one week
useless.
against Fulham. He can
Yeah.
play a role, like,
Yeah.
but look, he's not the guy you wanted there for an extended
No.
period of 6,
No.
7 games.
Yeah.
If Basuma goes out, hypothetically, but
Especially
regardless,
under the Ange system.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
I think regardless though, like I think we're probably trying to pick points here with Spurs too much. I think more so. 8 weeks in the season, we're going to be talking about how well it's going.
I
And
think you're
that
right
we,
there.
the fact that we had them at 8th and the fact that they're first, like
Yeah. Oh, it's well off.
It's
yeah.
especially considering we thought it might actually start slow.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, we thought the opposite. Yeah. the
we
opposite
thought
around, yeah.
we thought it could have been 11th, 12th at this point.
And fighting.
You know, maybe
And we- and we
3
were saying, how many
wins
weeks does he get? Do he get sacked?
Well, legit.
That's what we were
I
talking
think
about.
I think I posed the hypothetical
Yeah.
saying like,
If they're-
worst case scenario, how long do Spurs fans give Ange?
Yeah.
Because they won their preseason and stuff, and it was kind of all happy around the club, like, maybe this is the guy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and
well,
Kane
like,
was still there. Kane was still knocking it
and I
out.
was like, hypothetically, like, how long does he get?
Yeah.
If he loses his first 5 games,
Yeah.
because like genuinely on paper, it was like, okay, they've got us, they've got United, they've got Brentford, they've got all these clubs who can kind of pick up points here,
Yeah.
and they've
The
dispatched
last
all
one
of them
left is City.
and
That's the last one left,
yeah,
realistically.
yeah. Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's Liverpool.
Talking quickly, just touching on Højbjerg. Nah, he came the year after they made the Champions League.
Because so what? It was
final.
in Dombele. Was in Dombele there?
Yeah.
So it was that Ericsson,
And
Ali, and Dombele, all those three
Yeah,
guys.
but to be honest, he played 20 games for Bayern Munich.
That's a random stat, but I rate that stat.
And to be honest,
that
Like he
pops my
played
point.
20 games for Bayern Munich,
So
2013 to
I
16.
think you're being hard saying he's a Southampton good player.
he'd be a West Ham player right now.
West Ham is 7th.
Would he play in that team?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would he even play in that team?
But that's just more because of the condition. He'd almost play in a United team as a within the pivot with Casemiro.
I'd be deeply concerned for my own well-being if he was playing.
Wait, Mason Mount's playing there, not
Deeply concerned, you reckon? That's
for
fine.
my own
Let's-
well-being
let's
and
skip on.
yours as well.
Okay, so,
Mine's
anyway,
already
so
bottomed out.
with Spurs, we all got that like.
We were
Yeah,
at 8th.
completely,
I think we all had very similar top.
Yeah, we did. Well, because we want the same clubs left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
7th.
7th we had Villa.
Villa.
To be all at Villa.
So Villa's 6th, right? So
I-
it's not that ridiculous.
Okay.
Yep, I had
Villa
Villa.
are 5th.
So,
So I don't think we have
quickly
to touch
touching
on
on Villa, what's like so they're 7th.
Good
we
start.
they're 6th. We had them
Diaby
7th.
excellent. I don't think we have
Watkins
to talk
great.
too
I
much.
think we all expected
Yep.
exactly from Villa what
Yeah.
we're getting from Villa.
All I say to finish off, they've dealt with Europe better than I thought because they've got like
Yeah.
Zaniolo and these guys in. They're dealing with it.
Zaniolo, bye-bye.
Yeah, now we're not sure.
Tonali.
And Tonali.
Tonali as well.
Do you see the video of Tonali? So Tonali had the accusations. Like, it was like Saturday night or Sunday night. He was at the casino.
Really?
Yeah, like there's videos of him like at the casino.
They
on the
have
pokies.
no like concept of like how the media works. Eh? Like,
Yeah, but like,
why would you go out the day of it?
He
this
also
is a big quote from Zaniolo, but there's been like some dodgy stuff going on with that bloke for a while. In like, I think it was 2019 or 2020. This will make you laugh.
This is gonna be so out of
This
pocket.
is so-
Yeah,
It's gonna be unhinged, bro.
He got his girlfriend pregnant, and in Italy you can't get an abortion, so he sent her to Turkey.
Really?
Yeah, like he forced her, like sent her to Turkey.
the turkey job, eh? He got the turkey treatment done.
So like you can see the
That's
bloke's
nuts.
like
Yeah, that's
a bit
nuts.
lost, like
He lost.
a bit. His head's not screwed on.
Nah,
correctly.
but yeah.
I think Villa gonna.
I was about to
That was a
expand.
random one,
I was
eh?
about to expand on that, but
Villa.
I thought maybe I'll leave the gambling thing.
Yeah.
We don't want to get banned by that.
But sports, if you're down for a sponsorship, yeah, any day. of the
So
week.
6. Do we all have Newcastle or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Or Newcastle. They're 8th at the moment. And it's not ridiculous because if they keep doing how
That's not
well they're
ridiculous.
doing,
It's not ridiculous.
it's not ridiculous, man. It's not ridiculous. If they're doing as well as they're doing the Champions League, do they not bin off the Prem, but like
It's
focus on Champo?
Well, it's like
Probably not still because they
You-
want
you don't
to
reckon-
play Champions League next year.
You don't reckon if they qualify the group of death, they won't
we'll
take it seriously?
Oh, they'll
I think maybe a little bit further than qualification. I think maybe more like
If they're the quarters.
if they get to the.
I think they make
quarters.
huge. If they qualify out, I think they make a few more signings in January.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those scenarios where it's like, okay, if they get in the so when's the round of 16? Like Jan.
Feb.
They'll make
So
signings in Jan.
but they'll know they're in the round of 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
month break.
By
yeah,
November.
So,
By November.
so let's say they know,
Yeah.
and they've already had the draw and stuff. Because after the draw, you can kind of gauge
Two
what your-
midfielders, a
You
defender,
can also
like-
gauge like what your run's going to
I'll
be,
get some
like
depth.
who's on which side.
Yeah, on your pot of this. Yeah.
I think
It's
it's a good point.
it's
They
saying
could go down
obviously
that road.
it's saying
But they'll make signings.
rogue things.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
But like you see, already see now they're playing like Isaac Champions League. Wilson plays predominantly Prem. Like
Isaac's
Almiron,
he's got 6
Gordon,
goals.
Yeah.
Barnes. I know Barnes.
Barnes out for a bit, but Gordon's been. I think that's a.
Well, he's been
that's
really
a-
hard.
Some depth, but some serious depth now.
It's good. It's not obviously.
Hopefully Tonali's not out because that will be a big blow, like in terms
For
of their
60,
depth.
60 mil as well. Like it's in terms of
Yeah,
like the money. like,
spent and wages.
Apparently it could
and-
be a 3-year ban as well.
Well, his
Like, it's
is-
a bad one.
Well, his is way worse than like Tony's.
Yeah.
Like it's like a meal or something.
Yeah.
It's a cooked amount.
But they'll probably find a way to get him off.
So who do we have in fifth?
They always find a way to get
My
him
one
off.
was bad in fifth.
I had
Not
Chelsea.
bad. They were like, I had Liverpool. So it's not bad, but it's like 2 spots off.
It's not bad, but
One
because,
spot
because at the
actually
top
off.
we
One
enhanced
spot.
things, right?
Oh goodness me.
Did you? United.
Well, okay. My 5th is United, but my 3rd is just such a stinker.
Yeah, you guys stunk it with the third. I'm so happy with that. But, so fifth, I had Chelsea
United.
Liverpool.
and Liverpool. So
Okay,
we
you've
all,
actually started doing well here.
yeah, my top half's better than my bottom half.
You got
Let's just-
Chelsea at least you got Chelsea lower than
So
us.
here's the thing. Now I'm
Well, I've
gonna
got Chelsea same
I'm
as
gonna
you.
reverse the card onto
Chelsea
you guys.
fifth?
4th.
No, he's got to have 5th.
I got
Listen.
fifth.
Oh.
I'm gonna reverse the card onto you guys because you guys are talking up Chelsea a fair bit. Like you guys are very confident in Chelsea.
Okay.
I was sort of swayed
me
to
cook.
put him in fifth. I probably would have had Newcastle fifth.
You like wanted to hedge your bets against
Yeah,
us. like,
exactly. Yeah, but I'm so happy now that I had who I had in third. So Chelsea for me, this was always going to happen, and I still think they could still do it. And we'll touch on.
This is always going to happen. What about what was going to happen with everyone else you stuffed up? No. I'm joking.
There wasn't any rubbish. Like
No,
They were-
no, you're right. You're right.
we knew they
I
would do
was definitely
you guys had more faith though to get
way
more
too
points
optimistic in like
than what they've got.
yeah. In
I don't know if I was optimistic.
I think we all said
tell
this, though, it
I'll
was
tell
gonna
you what my thought process behind it. I just didn't rate Liverpool when I did these
Yeah,
predictions.
fair enough.
I looked at that was my only reason. Like I didn't think Chelsea were really good. The reasons I came in was I didn't want to put Newcastle too high because you always see those teams that make the top 4.
Bang, bang, drop down,
they
yeah,
have a
yeah.
little. I didn't expect it to drop to like 8th or 9th, but I put them in 6th. So
Drop off, yeah.
I
clarify,
expected to
you
drop-
had Liverpool at 5th though. Clarify.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't expect at the time Liverpool. I'd only signed Szoboszlai and McAllister. I was big because I was huge
Hear me out.
on the lack of the number
No
6.
damn. Yeah.
But
I
they're
was
the only
huge
ones
on
that
it.
actually really played though. All the signings, they're the ones that actually played the game, like the bigger games. The other signings have all played Europa League though.
Yeah.
So technically, like They didn't really
But
sign.
you were
anyone
right
extra,
where I disagreed with you.
Yeah.
You were right in the sense that you said they're just going to score more goals. They're not going to keep clean sheets,
And
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
like Curtis Jones is not the solution, but he was decent against Liverpool,
Yeah.
Tottenham, and losing him was a big deal. So that's something to be monitored as well. Yeah. And Churches hasn't really played, and I thought those two would be playing. So I'm not totally right, but it sort of worked out the way I wanted it to
So
go.
I had United, which is like, okay, it's better than where you two had them.
Yeah.
But it's like it's also like, I mean, I guess it's the same as you with Chelsea. Like you had Chelsea fifth, I had United fifth. It was kind of like, who do you think is going to miss out on Champions League that you think will get Europa?
Yeah,
and I
that's
still
pretty
think,
simple,
I think like, you know what I mean? As in,
I still think
who's
United
going
will
to be
finish top 6.
Huh?
I still think United will finish top 6.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is in, but like, as in,
he might have him perfect.
my point though is in like when you do these predictions, you're kind of like, okay, who's going to be relegation? Who's like, you don't really care about the order. It's like who's going to make these different brackets?
Yeah.
And I didn't have. I'm going to look at it as a positive. I didn't have United getting in the Champions League. I don't think they will get in the Champions League.
No.
So, and I think they'll probably end up getting closer to Europe.
I think it'll be a 6th, or 5th, right? Yeah,
maybe 7th to 5th sort of like area. So I'm actually reasonably happy with that one. Long term,
looking ahead,
Yeah,
that's
yours
long
is
term,
pretty perfect.
long term, that's good. But yeah,
Can I do my next two as a bump?
As a 4 and 3?
Yeah, 4
Yeah, go.
and 3. Yeah, I've got Chelsea.
These are so bad. Oh my god! Wait, before you do this, well, you just said that, but where are we currently sitting in the who's most accurate?
You're most accurate.
So
I still reckon I'm second.
prior to this,
I would have been 1.
No, he was 1 the whole way through.
Nah, I reckon I was 1.
prior to this,
You're definitely
I
ahead
am
of me now.
by far number 1 prior to this.
I had a lot of good ones.
And now you're last. You're second.
I've made up. For
This
my
is
top
absolutely shocking.
Yeah, now.
United and Chelsea, you're last now. You're actually last.
But here's United, and you got Chelsea at 5th. You guys are acting like you put United and Chelsea at like 15.
But I just clarify though, like as in the reasoning, is in like Champions League or no Champions League.
Things get extrapolated, blown out of proportion when you talk the top 6. It's a big position.
It's more about who's in Champions League, who's not. And you've just had an absolute stinker. You got 10th and 11th in 3 and 4. Shocking, absolutely.
Oh, and you've got them in 4 and 5. Fucking round of applause, okay? Round of applause. You've got them in 4 and 5.
But you don't have Liverpool in there. That's the problem. You don't have Liverpool. We do.
Yeah.
There was big question marks on Liverpool.
And you got it wrong.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We're doing circles. We're running circles.
That's what I'm saying.
Talk to me
I
about
agree with you.
Talk about United.
The Chelsea one was, as I said, purely on the fact that
you think they're better than Liverpool.
I just thought they were better than Liverpool.
Yeah.
I actually was struggling to find the 4th position. United was a couple of reasons. Obviously, bias.
Yep.
Second reason with United was I just looked at where they finished last year, and I thought they made squad.
I got a question regarding this.
Yeah.
So, long season of those two, Chelsea United, which one do you think is more likely to get 4th?
United.
Top four.
United.
You think United?
And I purely think United.
We'll grow on that.
And I purely think United because I look at United's injuries. Yeah. We do not have. We're getting.
There's no healthy
2-3 weeks. Yeah. Like
everyone's
6
back.
players back.
And so in your.
Have you seen our defense
Let's
lately?
actually no. So let's bunch our 3 to 5 because So we got the same 3 to 5, right?
Liverpool's.
We definitely agree Liverpool's going to finish above both of them.
So we all agree now.
Yeah.
So I got
breakaway segment. Here we go.
Liverpool 4, and you got.
I got Liverpool 3, I got United 4, and Chelsea 5.
So his is the best from these.
Yeah, his is definitely the best. But as in, my question regarding this is that we all have Liverpool in probably third.
Let's talk about these two teams then.
Yeah.
We'll break off the ladder for a little bit. Who do you think right now, with most at stake, who's got most at stake currently? Because who do you think has got like most to lose? If you know what I mean. You said
United's got most to lose.
Yeah.
Just because Ten Hag's already been there for a season.
Yeah.
So like. He's got less time than Poch. Poch is going to get more time because he's just come into the job. But
do you think who's the bigger upside then?
I think United's got the bigger upside.
Okay.
Just because United are playing.
United
back
can United,
4.
How can
Did
United
you not just
have the best,
see United's back 4?
How can United have the best upside?
Because they're back 4. They're getting so many players back. Chelsea
what do you
aren't
mean?
getting players back.
What do you mean?
That many.
What do you mean?
Caicedo, Lavia.
No Nkunku, no Reece James, no
But
Caicedo.
they're miles away.
What is he talking about?
They're miles away. Lavia's not coming back this season pretty much.
You're completely wrong. On the upside thing, you're 100% wrong.
I think United have most at stake, but I think I'm with you. I think Chelsea has so much more to gain.
I would 100% stand on who do I think is more likely to finish top 4 out of United and Chelsea. I think 100% Chelsea because I think I've seen United when it clicks, it's not that good. When United click, it's okay, right? You know,
it's good for
the league sucked. The league sucked last year. Okay, firstly, you're not getting anywhere near third. Liverpool are killing you in third, right? And then the rest of it's up for grabs, mate. I think Chelsea when it clicks, we haven't seen that. when it clicks, who knows what can happen? You're getting Kunku in that team. Nicholas Jackson
I haven't
starts
seen
scoring
myself
goals.
win the lotto either, but like,
Okay, well,
I think
it's very, very,
You'll be
very.
s-
Why is Chelsea clicking so unlikely? They have you have them literally fourth.
No, I'm
You
not saying they're
know-
not going to click.
you
They're
know
going to
how-
click and finish better than 12th, but you're acting like they're going to click and they're going to be like as
but
good
I'm
as
sa-
Liverpool.
No, I'm saying is in of those teams, who's more likely to be able to get top four? Who's
gotta
more
be Chelsea.
likely to be able to click and get there?
You know
it's
what?
Chelsea.
You've
It's
As
seen
of-
it. You've seen
as
United
of
can do
October
it.
16th, like right now.
Yeah, United.
Um,
Can I give my reasons quickly,
Wow.
and then I'll shut up. Can I give my
the
reasons?
defenders won.
So defenders is one. Like
2.
Start off.
Yeah, but are you
start off
scoring-
with
are you conceding-
Lindelof, Maguire, Evans,
Yeah, but are you
and
conceding
Dalot
that
as
many
your back
goals?
four.
Are you conceding?
Yes.
Who? You conceded one against Brentford in the week
But
before.
that's
How
more
many
the
you conceded?
goalkeeper, man. It's not the defense.
Who did you concede? What was this week?
I don't know. Like,
Who'd you
That's
verse?
the point.
Who'd you verse the week before?
who did we verse the week before we lost? Crystal Palace.
I mean, yeah. So this is his point though. You said, "Oh, I know Nana. That's your keeper, bro. You're not getting a new keeper
Yeah.
back."
You know,
Exactly.
okay, but let's
If
just
De-
talk.
if De Gea
You know-
comes
you
back
know
and we
this
go back
whole
to the
thing-
normal back, I'll change
you
my
know
mind,
this
but
whole
not.
thing about not conceding goals. Last year we kept the most clean sheets.
Yeah, but who was
with
in the
that
goal?
defense.
It was the most stable
Yeah,
back four that
but-
never got
but
injured,
like-
never missed games. It was the same back four as De Gea. It was
And it's
Wan-Bissaka,
aging.
Martinez.
And it's aging.
Lizandro
Yes,
was
it's aging.
injured.
Casemiro, the bloody best stadium in the world last year.
Looks like he's a kebab shop owner.
You know,
But
he's
did you
looking
look
at his
at the
age.
back shop
He's
because
looking at
who's
his-
in front of him and who's behind him as well?
I know
Is that
this,
not
but
part of the
Last
consideration?
year was it not the same thing for half the time? Like,
What do you mean?
as in, who's up front of him? He's got it's Rashford, Inshallah. Who's in front of him? Rashford, Inshallah. Like,
Who's behind him though?
yeah, well, last year was better behind him, but Varane didn't play the whole
Better.
year.
It was night and day. We're comparing
But
the
top-
back four we played was a Luton back four compared to last year. You'd say was third or fourth best.
No,
back.
Luke Shaw's a big out.
Yeah.
I think Luke
Even
Shaw's
with
the,
Rashford, he helps Rashford.
Yeah,
I was saying
I
that
think Luke
point
Shaw's
last
the
week, I
biggest
think.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you were
Yeah.
saying, in terms of what he does for Rashford.
We
I
got
think,
Maguire and Evans at the back. You don't think you'd rather Lissandro
Oh,
and,
don't
and
get
Varane?
me wrong, but
Evans in, by the
isn't this
way.
what we said with
Maguire and Evans?
Isn't this what we said about Varane 2 years ago? That 2 years ago when he first joined, he missed like every third game. And last year we got a good run. I think last year everything just fell into
I'd
place.
be happy though
Teams
if
are rubbish.
Lissandro and Lindelof played.
I know, but like it's hypothetical,
there.
right? But we're seeing what is truly happened. We're seeing that Casemiro is old, which he was. It was a panic buy. Varane we bought because of pedigree, but we knew he was always injury
Can I
prone.
give my other reasons there quickly?
Go.
Well, Hoyland, he's looked really good in the Champions League. Hasn't capitalised yet.
Bro, bro just says Hoyland, like as in like, you know, wow.
Anthony
my
hasn't
reason-
played yet this season.
Bro,
He's
what
back.
do you mean Anthony?
I like Anthony.
No, he's good.
Yeah.
But like,
It's a lot better to play Bruno at right wing.
Anthony is not getting you Champions League football. What do you mean? You can't just say Anthony
The
like
thing,
that's a
the thing
reason.
the thing is, though, I can just counter you by saying Reece James.
Yeah,
Like,
I
can
was
counter
going
you
to say,
with that.
I would just name every player out for
Noni
Chelsea right
Madueke
now.
and
Like,
Lavia and Alavi Caicedo, Nkunku. They're arguably
like,
better players than what we've got.
You can say midfield for Chelsea. Just put it in a midfield because I don't have that right now. They're not playing Caicedo, Lavia.
Conor
or
Gallagher's
Nkunku.
the best midfielder right now.
It's like
that says a lot.
You're saying their backline. I'm saying I think it's
Yeah, but you're the drop down between. So Chelsea bringing these, they got players out right now, and their drop down is Gallagher, who is still would play for top 10 teams.
That's
probably
why we're saying they're going to
top
be higher
8
than.
teams. Their
Maguire
drop down isn't as bad.
Maguire was being targeted by the team who's currently 7th in the league and who is an England international
And who would have fit better in
consistently.
that system.
And
But it's a different
you're acting about a top.
It's a different system.
But Tots,
It's a
you're
Southgate
talking about
system.
top 10.
Tots, you've played into my point though, because you're saying their backup is better than a top 8 club. So that's why we've got them high. Because their squad is better, their talent is better, and the coach has done it in the Premier
Yeah,
League.
you don't expect United to have to play their 5th and 6th
Bro,
choice centre
you just
back.
scraped 2-1 win against Brentford.
We're paying our 5th and 6th choice centre back.
Yeah, but Liverpool and
Not
Chelsea,
even third
and
and
Chelsea
fourth,
just
fifth and
battered
sixth.
Burnley 4-1 away.
Chelsea-
and they couldn't,
Chelsea are
and
doing
they
a-
couldn't score.
Chelsea are doing a better job of what they're supposed to be doing than we are doing. Well, if you know what I mean, like the way that Ten Hag is a player, we're not doing that as well. That Chelsea
Especially,
are playing the Poch way.
and this was my main reason, is that because yours is 18 months into the project, Chelsea's is 3. Like
barely. Yeah.
like as in there hasn't been time for it to click yet, and they're one spot below you.
Time for it to click. There wasn't time for Ange to click.
yeah, but that's just
No, but
the GOAT.
you're comparing
He's the GOAT.
one of the like most record breaking starts to a season ever.
Ever.
But I'm not expecting him to do what Ange done. But Ange, like, what I'm
So
saying.
what are you expecting Ten Hag to do?
Tottenham
then?
wasn't
It's
the
been
a
18
bigger
months.
mess
What are
than
you
Chelsea
expecting?
was.
I'm not disagreeing. Your word was who's got the best upside, not who.
But
Like,
most of us-
I think honestly, Ten Hag will get the sack.
No,
I'm just saying, if it all happens...
I think you're entitled to your opinion, but I just think the reasoning is shocking.
No, it's not. It's not shocking.
It was one word answer. It was Hoyland. That was the reason.
Yeah, bro said Hoyland. Like,
Evans didn't get a contract from any Premier League club at all. Zero.
well, neither did Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's because of
And
wages.
they're both.
Like,
They're just no.
That's a different. That's a different. That's wages.
Like, no.
Luton ain't going to pay Cristiano Ronaldo money.
And
Yeah,
hear
but
me out.
Evans
It-
will be on a mil a week.
It's a
year
bigger.
right now.
It's a
Evans
bigger
will be like
problem.
giving on a
Is
mil.
that Man United?
It's a bigger problem than just that, though. But the fact that Chelsea's fifth choice is maybe Batty Sheila right now, who's coming back from injury, and our fifth choice is Johnny Evans. Now, this is going to other points that we'll cover in different episodes about the ownership. That shows that Chelsea are in a better spot, pedigree-wise, quality-wise.
Fifth choice.
No, but Tots, Man City's fifth choice is playing left back for them, and Chelsea's fifth choice is injured. Like that's why there's bigger upside at Chelsea. That's simply why it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so
That's what it is.
if you're gonna do a revised, like top
Revised
10 or
top
whatever,
five.
where would you have?
Revised
No,
top
let's just say top out of Chelsea and United.
Well,
Where would you have United?
I'd have United in 7th and Chelsea in 6th.
Okay, so that's not okay. And I'd have United. Ooh, you go.
United 6.
Do you have-
Chelsea 7.
Okay,
So we didn't reverse. We just reversed.
okay,
it.
I'm gonna have. Yeah.
You have faith, eh? You thought I was being bold and so low down. You gave me the face. You're like, I was at 7th. You're like, okay.
I'm about to get cooked. Bro, I'm about to get cooked.
Tottenham are finishing above them and Newcastle finishing above them.
Listen.
So best is
listen.
6.
Listen. Okay, you're gonna hear me out.
10th.
No, I'm gonna have United.
8th. He had to say 8th, isn't he?
Bro, this is actually a massive call. I'm just gonna have United above Chelsea. Listen.
No, I want to hear the number. I want to hear the number.
Because I don't know what top 4 is, bro.
Do you think Villa's finishing above both of
Who's
them?
finishing fourth?
Do you think Villa's finishing
Who's
above
finishing
the...
fourth? I don't even know who's
Tottenham.
finishing fourth, bro.
Tottenham.
Newcastle.
Spurs.
Tottenham or
What do you reckon
Newcastle?
Spurs are?
Newcastle.
I think Villa could hit one of these teams as
So
well.
that's the top
Okay,
two.
listen.
7 and 8.
Listen. No, I'm backing it. I'm backing it.
Chelsea.
United 8th, Chelsea 6th.
So you think Chelsea finishes above Aston
And
Villa?
And Villa picks the
Yeah,
middle. Yeah,
yeah.
okay, I get that. I get
So you
that.
think Villa's finishing above... No. You
Villa
think,
above United and below
I
Chelsea.
can't give that rant about why Chelsea have more upside and then say United finish above them. I just can't do that.
yeah, fair enough.
Even though, like, let me just caveat to this. I think the more potential upside is Chelsea. I
this
still
year-
think potentially United finish high because I just think, like Ten Hag's way more capable of scraping a result.
Yeah.
But do you understand my upside thing? It's like, do you understand that?
Well, we're not talking about upside. I'll talk about upside for this year.
Yeah,
I'm talking
no,
about
but-
upside
yeah,
for
yeah,
3 years'
yeah,
time.
yeah.
In 3 years'
I know,
time, Chelsea
I know.
are way better
But
off
I'm
than
saying,
United.
I'm saying is if Chelsea click in a week though, I think the probability might be low, but I think if it works, I think both
They're
teams,
more likely to get it
both
right
teams'
quicker.
best case scenarios
yes.
is what I was saying.
Yeah.
right?
No, but
I was arguing for
If
that.
you're going to go to like, who would I rather be going into next
No, no,
season?
no, 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 no.
I'd
I'm not
rather
saying
Chelsea-
that. I'm not
This
saying that.
season, the upside's
I
better
just
for
want
you
to
guys.
I'm just
clarify.
saying is if Chelsea and United had a Premier League on their own,
Yeah.
come whether March, whatever it is, I expect Chelsea to be higher than that. That's simply how.
Like I said, if I was going to like the way I would
You can
describe
definitely
it.
say that. It's going to be so close.
No, but
They can finish 11
the
to
reason
12
I
for all
said
I
this
know.
because I was saying who do you think is more likely to be able to finish top 4? And for top 4 at this scenario, looks like it have to be best case scenario for both teams.
Jamie,
So
it could be a
my
miracle.
point was,
Yeah.
as in who's more likely to have a best case scenario
Chelsea,
which allows
100%.
them to get top 4.
Yeah.
I was arguing for Chelsea because just because
I reckon we move on
their
these,
potential
bottom
upside
feeders.
is so high. Yeah, fair enough.
Let's
I
go
just want to clarify that.
Yeah, that's fine.
top 2. Then we come to that top 2 point. We went.
Liverpool, you had 3.
Yeah, but we say that. I thought
I
I
had
said.
Chelsea 3.
Yeah,
So you chose
that's
I
fine.
Liverpool, you
Yeah,
get Chelsea.
I just want to say because you got that one right.
Yeah,
You got that, so
thank
fair
you.
enough.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
You're definitely above him now.
Yeah.
I still
Top
think that's...
two.
With
So-
my West Ham and stuff, he hasn't made any rogue ones that are good, I'd say. So that's why I reckon I'll get above.
Yeah, but we always think
You're
it's-
a first because you've made some really good ones. But
Let's go top 2 then, so we can get the
Okay.
next thing before we finish up. We had both had City.
Oh,
Arsenal.
nuts from me. Nuts from me.
well, Arsenal won.
Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah, but you
Right
can,
now-
they're running away with
No,
the
if
league.
I'm going to be honest, I think Arsenal winning the league.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying right now.
I'm changing my- I'm
For me,
changing my-
right now, Arsenal looking more likely.
If I had to
Wow,
predict
that's
if I had to
crazy.
predict it for the end of the season, I just look at like stuff that are happening. City haven't lost under Pep 2 games in a row in his whole Man City career. Happened now. I look
Is that
at
the first time it's
No, it was
been his whole Man City.
2018. 2018.
oh, was it 28?
But then we're talking about Fernandinho
no Rodri,
and
no
like,
Rodri, no
like Clichy,
No
I think
De
was still,
Bruyne.
must have been
Yeah,
something
but-
like that to the team. Like it was rubbish.
Go cliche.
I'm sure it'll be him and like Claudio
Nah,
Bravo.
look, we're, like
was-
we can't really sit here and slate
You guys had
City.
Saka and Martinelli for 90% of the game.
Well, Saka for 100% and then only 45%.
So technically,
yeah, why does it have to be 75?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll say that. We'll say that.
I think though, it's just things are clicking in Arsenal. And the biggest thing, what you always repeatedly say, which makes a lot of sense, is you've addressed every place that lost you the league last year, and you've bettered it this year. Yeah. So
apart from a striker.
Yeah, but it's still work.
But to be fair, like when Jesus played last year, we such a better team than when Eddie was in the team. Whereas this year, like Jesus has only played half the games. Like, he was out for the start of the season. No. You're like, striker is probably our biggest point at the moment now.
But that's another problem. Like you talk about Varane, injuries. He's injury prone at this point.
Yeah, but we're addressing it though.
They cover the CDMs.
What are you talking about problems? We're second to Spurs on goals scored. Like, as in problems. Like, what he was saying though is that we addressed Declan Rice. We addressed fullbacks. Like,
I'm going to get the telescope out and really look into your team.
They've been unlucky as well. They've been very unlucky because Yuri Timber for me would have been one of the best signings of the summer. I think if he had played. He was cooking in that.
He's scheduled back to be in training in Jan. He didn't
ACL. Stem cell.
Brothers being injected in
those newborns, bro.
We want to.
For the good of Arsenal.
I don't think there's too much really to touch on those top two.
I just think right now we all agree that Arsenal are looking the better of the two.
Yeah.
But again, we'll talk about this all year probably.
Yeah. Before we get onto a 4-hour episode.
And the biggest thing with City, is that we say this every year. They start slow, they come good.
We'll come good.
Let's see how they are. Let's see what their momentum is in Jan.
Yeah.
And where they're positioned in Jan. Because if they're first in Jan, you're gonna think they're gonna run away with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So look, it's 2 points, I think. You know,
but it just feels bigger because you
Tottenham late shout.
Beat them. That was the big ones that we beat them. So overall, let's rank. 1, 2. I'm putting 2.
I'm happy to do that.
We're very close.
I think at the end of the season,
you're casual.
I think at the end of the season, I'm convinced I'll be a 2. You look at West Ham will finish 10th, 11th, or 9th, and that means.
One of those.
It's one of those, which means I will get it. I'm confident here I will get it, or I'll be one spot off.
Yeah, Arsenal finished 1, 2, or 3, but like, you know.
That's different. 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm joking. Chill.
Do you want to touch quickly on the Radcliffe?
We'll do it next week because we'll probably run out of time. Let's do, to finish off, our top 5 players after 8 weeks. So form-based, purely form-based. We try to keep it somewhat different.
Yep.
Do you have yours ranked?
I don't have I just got 5 names.
Oh, okay. I'm happy to do that as well.
We're fine to do 5 names. Just need to discuss players.
So, do we have any of the same ones?
Do we all have Madison?
Yes.
Okay, I can tick him off so we can get rid of him.
Madison.
Do we all have Pedro Neto?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
We should talk about these, but we'll clarify the ones we have the same first.
Okay, yeah. No, you know what? We'll cover these guys quickly before we keep on. So obviously Madison, arguably the most important player for Tottenham.
Exceptional.
Top team in the league, so as such, a sort of A to A, right?
Yeah. We've spoken about how he's like, as in if he isn't there, what could happen.
And that's a sign of a good player, right? If you're talking when they're not there.
The impact he's having is so tangible and like obvious and quantitative.
And back to that North London derby that we were like, oh my God, if he got injured. Like that's when you know just someone's impact is nuts.
He's probably the most important player to a team currently in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. Him and Saka, I think, are so level in that sort of regard.
And touching on Neto, I think it goes without saying, Wolves' biggest problem, as we've stated so many times through this episode, was the goal scoring, the creation, and he's just been.
Well, I think he scored or assisted like 6 or 7 of their how many goals?
Yeah, exactly.
Top assister. He's like,
I think he's got 5 assists and a goal. I think that's insane. So
he's just constantly, and Huang's goals basically come from him.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, good player, but purely just a finisher, right? He's not going to be creating goals on his own. You need people to create for him. So the Cunha's and most importantly Neto. And Neto's goal against Luton, where he just picked the ball up on the halfway line, past 3, scores.
Everyone keeps doing that against Luton. Sterling did it.
Just put him on their ass, basically.
Do we all have Alvarez?
No.
I do.
You guys both
do.
So,
discuss that.
He's City's best player, and City are a top 3 team. So,
which makes sense.
And it's also like the manner in the goals he's scoring.
Yeah.
Nuts goal.
Maybe I'm thinking about some of his Champions League goals.
What about the free kick?
But he's scoring free kicks.
Are we okay? Yeah, you're probably right there. Like we're probably taking into consideration the Champions League as well.
I think,
but he's still got 3 goals.
It's a great call.
He's still got 3 goals, 3 assists, not playing striker. And he's playing 10.
Despite him not outperforming Haaland, it feels like he's outperforming Haaland. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you look at it as well from the point of view that he's played KDB's position and KDB's got huge boots to fill.
Yeah.
And you feel like he's actually feeling it. Obviously, KDB will come back in.
Maybe the overall creation feels a little bit down. Like it doesn't feel
Arsenal
as
game
lively.
didn't feel as good. It didn't feel City, right?
But then again, like I mean, you can only judge it on his output playing 10. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists.
As a number 10, you can't complain with that.
Do we have Bowen?
I have Bowen. This is another case of like a Pedro.
I don't know Bowen.
This is another case of like the Pedro Neto thing.
He would have been an honourable
pivotal
mention.
goal scoring wise. Like some of the goals is ridiculous, like these diving headers as well, and like creating out of nothing. For teams like West Ham, for teams like Wolves, you need to create chances out of thin air. Sort of.
I will make a comment there, a bit less pivotal, I would say.
No. I'm not saying as pivotal, but
because they have more creation outside.
Yeah, they got outs on the play.
And it's a thing where like he's returning to form, so it's almost you want to put him up there because last year it was good, but he wasn't ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like he's back to that form where he's just goals, assists. Whenever you check your phone, West Ham has scored. It's Jarrett Bowen sort of stuff. So I think for them going forward, he's going to be pivotal for them.
Do you have?
I've got Mo Salah.
Fair enough.
Goals and assists in every single game he's played in.
Yeah.
Like you can't deny.
He's not under the radar. So that's
for
a
Premier
good
League.
shout.
For Premier League, I think he's scored an assist in every single game so far this season. So pure, just
Let me check.
like we did last season when I was backing Salah in. Remember?
Yeah,
way back last season, and I get the sack and stuff, but like Mo Salah just pure numbers is ridiculous. The guy never misses. The guy always is impactful, and for a Liverpool team that's scoring so many goals, it's coming through him. He's finishing his chances off.
That's a fair shout. Like I think he's just got the problem with people like the Salahs and like the Haalands. Like why probably none of us put Haaland in. He's got 8 goals.
Spurs he didn't.
Oh shit!
Yeah, against
I said it was on his chest as well. That you guys almost like believe me.
Yeah, well, you just look at the players like the Salahs and like the Haaland. Like Haaland's got 8 goals, and I'm pretty sure none of us got to be there.
I must say, I feel so.
Yeah, well, I was saying this before the things. Yeah, like
so I think players
crazy
because of how
Yeah.
well they've done in the past.
You set a standard.
Yeah, he puts himself down.
I think the Prem screwed that because I'm sure they put an Instagram post after he scored against Brighton saying he's done in every single game this season.
He assisted,
the Prem also stuffed
assisted
up.
the Diaz. That didn't count.
Oh, that's why. So he has scored an assist in every game. Bullshit. He's done it every game.
True.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
That's
who
my
else do you have?
my fourth player. Who's your fourth player?
Okay, so I haven't got my third yet because I didn't have Bowen. So I have I got William Saliba.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not in like any order, but just like in
there.
terms of representation from like the joint best team in the league.
Yeah.
It's been. I could have put Declan Rice in. I could have put Declan Rice in.
I was close. He's one of my honorable mentions.
But I just think like, look, actually now I think about Rice could have easily been swapped in like for Saliba,
like
right? Or you could have put both of them in. But I think Saliba's the best centre back in the world, like at the moment, to be honest. Like we just kept a clean sheet against City, having a total of 4 shots in the games. Their lowest under Pep ever. We've had 4 clean sheets in 8, and I don't know. I just think it goes back to like that form he had last year, where we were just like we were the best team in the league when he played last year. I think that's carried over to this year as well.
Yeah, I did a video about the stats, but saying like you went and you had 4 clean sheets in 12 games and he was there, but you had like 12 and like 20 when he was playing. Something stupid. Like the discrepancy is like not. If you put it in a graph, it's like that. Like it's stupid.
It also like touches on that like that lack of depth. Like last year we'll bring in a Rob Holding. Now we can bring in Ben White centre back. It's just a different makeup this year. But like, I think Saliba's impact on our team. At like 23 years old, I don't know if he is, but he is ridiculously young.
Crazy because like when he first came to the club, he was like not terrible.
I think we signed him as an 18-year-old.
He's been on loan for like 2 years.
We signed him.
You didn't send him on loan for
initially.
No, we did. He went straight back to St. Etienne.
He came and played for you guys and then went back on loan.
Oh, he played pre-season games.
No, he played
never. Nah, because there's photos of him.
You're waffling. Yeah, you're waffling.
Yeah, he might have played for pre-season, something like that.
No, but regardless, that's my third.
Yeah,
who's your fourth? You've already done 4.
My 4. Who was your 4th?
I've got so far Alvarez, Madison, Neto, and Bowen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I've got Madison, Neto, Bowen, Salah.
That was my 4. I said Alvarez as well. Sorry.
And then I've got Son.
I've got Mickey Van der Ven as my 5th.
That's a good shout. I rate that.
Okay, I'll ball over here.
Yeah,
no.
Because you see what he does in Germany. It's Wolfsburg. Like, can he actually do it? This is sort of similar to, I probably should have put Saliba in, but I talked to you guys off before we came on.
3.
The expectation.
Yeah, the expectation.
I only have 2. I don't have Son.
Oh, you don't.
So I've got Madison, Neto, Bowen, Salah,
Oh,
Van
okay,
de Ven.
okay.
And I every prediction I'm all on Van de Ven because I just love watching him play.
On
He's
the
quick.
centre-back
he's
card,
like Saliba.
He's
like,
really quick.
He's like
Van de
Saliba.
Ven is so
I want to
quick.
make a call here on
Yeah.
the centre-back card, and I know you're going to get pissed off about this one, but
What are you gonna say?
you got a bit of an honourable
Best centre-backs in the world.
honourable
Right.
mention
Spurs.
to Christensen.
Yeah. No,
Anderson,
Anderson,
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
no,
I back
no,
in
that's fair enough.
Because I'm one of those guys who like the niche ballers that like.
No.
Yeah.
Like Anderson's a good shout. Like he's a top 10 centre back in the league. Like
Yeah.
at the moment, he's probably like a top.
And again,
top 3 or 4.
outperforming expectation.
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
as well.
That's why, like,
Yeah.
realistically, is he in the top 5 players in the league? Probably not.
Yeah.
But that's why you
Yeah,
obviously
but
he's
like
in our
as in
list.
on form. Like
Yeah.
it's hard because like
It's a bit of aura thing as well. Again, like top 5 clubs.
well,
I think
and it's
as
also
well.
like measuring output.
Yeah.
So like maybe Saliba isn't even in consideration, or maybe he might be, isn't in there because like he hasn't scored or assisted and stuff. Whereas Anderson scored 2 goals.
But
Like
the clean sheets, a full clean
yeah,
sheet.
like when you're a centre back and you score a goal, it's always going to put your name on the radar, right?
Yeah.
So like, look, I think a good special mention. So you touched on why you have Van de Ven.
Van de Ven, I
briefly.
think the way that Spurs have played, the fact that they can still be so solid defensively is because they're basically 2-on-2 on the counter attack. They get screwed, and because the fullbacks you talked about, High, Doggy, and Emerson, all them get up. So that's stretching there. The pace, like they say, he's equally quick as Alphonso Davies. We've seen that now how quick he is in the Prem, and I think again it's Tottenham, the top of the league. You got to put some representation, and we'll talk about defenders. I'm like,
Do you not think it's harsh, though, not putting the player of the month in? There's been
It
2
is
player
harsh.
of the months, and
It
the
is harsh.
first player of the month was
But-
like a 2.5-week period.
I
So
know.
this is the main one.
He scored a hat against Burnley when the game was done and like I don't want to underplay it, but
Scored 2 against Arsenal
yeah, I know. Yeah.
and a goal against Liverpool.
And it is harsh. It is harsh, but I just
It's
feel
also
like
just-
these
yeah.
guys all done.
Yeah,
doing their
fair
roles.
enough. Like, Son was like pretty not impactful like when he was playing on the left, but
Yeah.
I'm sort of
The
more
last 4 weeks has been
I've
nuts,
sort of
yeah.
like reset it in my brain like like Son playing striker.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
And-
the same
yeah. If you
thing.
take the last 4 weeks as a
Yeah. And like it's cause it's funny. It's been 8 games. Like it feels like Son scored every week. Over, since, but that's like since he's been striker. But no, I just think to be fair, like on form, I think Son as striker is such a scary prospect. Like as you said, you've seen what he does against big teams. And,
It's Arsenal's very
I was a big call for that preseason. I said, get rid of Kay, put Son striker.
striker.
He's
Yeah.
just
2
good on,
years ago.
He's just
he
so
did
good on
it.
both his feet.
He did it
Like
when
it's
Kay was
insane. He's just so good on both his feet against
in front of goal though. He just has a miss. That's the thing as well.
Yeah, he's so clinical and just you
just-
can't defend him. Like
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
as
yeah.
well, like, when you see Madison or whoever's got it on the byline, the run, he's got, like, the knack of a striker. You know when
He's
you
got
see,
the
like,
IQ, yeah.
you know when you see, like, Rashford go up there, people from the left, and you go, he's good one-on-one. If you've got him one-on-one, you guys are, like, you guys especially are shitting yourself. But, like, he doesn't have that in-the-box knack. Son's good one-on-one.
Yeah.
But he also, like, those darting runs he makes.
so
the proper-
quick,
And then he,
It's
like,
that bend
just
where he
taps
just-
it in.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
wow. That's like that's what you see from, like, Ronaldo and stuff.
It is. It's that bending run. All of a sudden, just bang. He'll just
Yeah.
cut across. Yeah.
I think it's funny. I think just briefly touching before we finish on the Kane thing. It's like, he's always been overshadowed by Kane. Like Son, I think was a Golden Boot winner.
Yeah, he
Like-
tied.
like, yeah,
They're all tied.
yeah,
All 3 of them
like-
tied. Like Salah,
But-
him, and Kane.
But like he's always kind of overshadowed because it was like, the dynamic duo, Kane and Son. Like
Kane and Son,
Son's
yeah.
really helping out Kane. Like where it was like, Son has been a world class player now for years, and he actually had an off year last year, and that's a mixture of things. But I think we're sort of beginning to see him return to his very best.
Well, he's their star, man.
The hypothetical was
100%.
if Son had played up front the whole time, how much of a legend the Prem could he have been?
Yeah,
Because he is still a legend. But if Kane wasn't there, the amount of goals
he's
he might
like
have
a
scored.
bit of like a cult hero.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Son.
It could be a bit of a hypothetical to put.
How old is
On
he?
the hypothetical,
30?
Towards 30, I think.
yeah, on the hypothetical, do you think he could have backed, okay, maybe not those numbers, but backed close to the numbers that Kane did over Kane's career if he was their number 9?
The problem is they played as a duo. You just said it. They played as a pairing. Every goal that Son scored almost felt like it came from Kane.
Yeah.
Every Kane goal came from
But you
Son.
see that now from Son that it doesn't need to.
Yeah, it
Well,
could come from
100%.
Madison
But as in,
and stuff,
look, it'd be interesting to see. I put a bet on him. I'm surprised. I did. I got on Son when he played striker first game against
Was it
Well, for Golden
was
Boot.
Burnley?
No, for Golden Boot minus Haaland, and I got him at $9.
Value.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got
very
him at
good value.
$9. So
Unless Alvarez does a madness.
He could even take the Golden Boot, I reckon.
well, now it's looking good, but it's in like
At the time, he hadn't played up.
he was paying $9.
Ollie Watkins is the other one.
Bro, 9-1 for Son playing striker in an attacking team.
in a scoring team.
yeah, to win the Golden Boot without Haaland.
Yeah, I would
Haaland's
have
not
thought it would
involved.
be 9-1 with Haaland.
Yeah, same. But it probably is now Because
Yeah,
like
okay.
No,
him
we
as
changed
striker
it
is a
one day.
different
It's
prospect.
ridiculous, yeah.
We're paying like $2.
Yeah, there's a little betting plug, man. I'm just a
Yeah.
gambling addict. Like,
It's sports at
I heard you had a
Bet365
bad
anyway.
Saturday, by the way.
hey, chill.
Allow that.
Yeah, I did.
Down the grapevine.
Shocker.
Just going over our list again, I've got Madison, Neto, Bowen, Salah, Van de Ven.
Yeah.
Yourself,
Son, Madison, Alvarez, Pedro Neto, Saliba.
and you went.
Son, Madison, Alvarez, Pedro Neto, and Bowen.
So I think fair list. We've got a few similars. And obviously the latter stuff will come to it towards either the back end of like the last 8 games to go, and then the end of the season we'll review how we go. But
Yep.
I think, yeah, definitely you're on the money there. I think early on. You've got that.
I think I maybe got a bit too much. I think I've convinced you guys I was. I think.
I think you
actually
were
was.
because your bottom was good and your top
I got a
was
few stinkers
better
in there,
than
but we all had a few
Oh,
stinkers.
my bottom was good, but then, yeah, my top was
tops-
a bit of a
What were your
stinker.
biggest stinkers, just quickly?
I think
I had
the
Chelsea,
Forest
Burnley,
and Brentford.
West Ham.
The Forest and Brentford stuff that were 10th and 11th, they're well off.
West Ham stinker as well.
I
And West
just-
Ham 17th, yeah.
I just had Chelsea, United, and Burnley.
You might have, on aggregate, you might have got it, but because of where the big clubs were.
Nah,
I reckon on the scoring
you were
system,
fourth.
opposed,
I must say
on the scoring system,
yeah.
I reckon I
Close.
was very.
Yeah,
I would have taken prayers. I wouldn't have-
I'd be dead last. But
yeah, on the
because my
scoring
bottom half
system, I
sucks.
could have took you.
Okay, well,
We'll wait and
But
see.
on like
I'm going to calculate that
theoretical,
when this is done.
I'm gonna say, give us 22 weeks
Are
and
you
then
gonna
we'll be back
calculate
again to calculate it properly.
I'm going to calculate it.
Yeah, you'll calculate it. I'll send him the photos of what I've got and we can do it up.
Yeah, okay.
That brings this week to the end. Prem back again this week. I think I'll touch base offline, but maybe might do another watch long. We'll see.
Well, United City on Sunday night.
Nah, that's next week. Sheffield this week for United.
Any good games this week?
We've got a Brighton City game late Saturday. I messaged
Brighton
you.
someone good, I swear.
Is that the 3 a.m.?
It might be one of those
2:30,
ones,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
that's probably
Let me
it.
check.
I'll release something on Instagram if that.
Oh, we're
if it-
versing Chelsea. I don't know if that matters.
that's
What day is that, but?
Sunday. No, 12:30 Saturday night.
That could be
Be a
doable.
shout. But yeah,
we'll,
you
can watch
we'll
that.
release the info
Yeah.
in a few days' time if I sort people
Bro,
out.
I'm just saying, Super Saturday. We'll Chelsea. We'll watch City, Brighton, and then Arsenal, Chelsea.
Back to backs.
I'd do it.
I'd do
Here we
it.
go.
I'll be happy.
It's
And then
in the
United,
air.
Sheffield.
One of the biggest games of the weekend.
Game of the season.
Relegation
Game of the-
battle,
Game of
mate.
the-
Relegation battle.
Not United. Oh,
Johnny Evans and
I don't
Maguire
wanna
at the
say-
back.
probably the only game I'd actually be like semi not concerned with them being at
I'm
the
still
back.
concerned. Away from home at Sheffield.
Wait, clip that.
I'm gonna say that might turn out to be bad.
I've got a lot of clips from today.
Thanks for staying with us. If you've stayed with us, because it's been a
How long's it been?
It's about an hour and a bit. So
Okay, sorry.
a lot of back and forth. A lot of I won't put stuff on the screen. I don't have time to edit this stuff, so it's gonna be a bit confusing tracking what we've all said. But
Yo, there was a lot of numbers
yeah,
floating
and
around.
a lot of stuff going around. But thanks, boys, to come back on. Like I said, Prem football this weekend. We'll either be back for a watch on or Monday we're back for the wrap up for the week. We'll try and get more of these sort of hypotheticals in there as well. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, all that good stuff. We're growing gradually, which is very good to see. And we'll see you guys next week for another Way Day show. Have a good week, guys.